Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're doing a sewer scope today, June 9th, 2025. We can't have the camera pushed out 112 feet to the city connection. Now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. We're at 4204 west, 4495 south. This first connection point is called the nose on. This is where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. Right off the bat, looks like you have a little bit of a debris stuck on the line. It doesn't look real thick, and it's kind of on the top, but I would recommend getting this line cleaned. And that would prevent waste from getting stuck on that, which could lead to a blockage, which could cause a backup. Kind of a lot of things hanging down, and there's a pretty good sized root, and that root on its own, that makes me feel better, well, about recommending having it cleaned. It's not ideal that you have roots, but you had those smaller pieces are kind of small to have just those cleaned, but seeing these roots, there's another big one. I definitely recommend getting it hydrojetted, and that would blast out all those roots, and that would help prevent a blockage. We're starting to go underwater, and so it looks like this line does have a little bit of bad grade. Going on 10 feet, starting to come out of it. And so that's a belly. And when you have a belly, that's a spot where waste could settle, and if you get enough waste that gets stuck, it can create a blockage where it backs up towards the house. And so never ideal to have any sort of a belly. That one was only 10 feet long. The longer it is, the more concerning. It'd be best to not have any standing water, but I've certainly seen many that are a lot longer. They're kind of hard to predict on how much waste will settle if you avoid using grease, if you have the line cleaned, and you don't use wet wipes or flushable wipes. You're less likely, but it's still possible. Some sort of waste stuck in the line there. It could be a wet wipe. Certainly not toilet paper, but having the line cleaned would help remove that. We're going through cast iron now. Cast iron is what's under the house, and with cast iron it gets real rough and rusty. It will eventually need to be replaced. Having the line clean could help smooth this out. You could have it put coated, which, I mean, for the roots I'd recommend hydrojetting, but for the cast I'd recommend Pacote, which is a chain that will cut through all that rust and scale, and that would make it smoother. Coming up the roof stack here, so nothing to see here. So just to recap, you do have a couple good sized roots. I'd recommend having those cleaned out now. A little bit of a belly. I would recommend the insurance on this line. You can get insurance with HomeServe. It's not very expensive, but it can help offset the cost if there's a backup or if there's a big repair needed. The cast iron will eventually need to be replaced. I've definitely seen many houses of this age that have already had to replace it, but I also see a lot of houses built much earlier than this one that are still using it. So it's kind of unpredictable. Having it cleaned and evaluated further can help give you an idea of any other issues that might be hiding under that rust. I'm going to end this recording now.